Welcome back to the Breaker Bros, and this is our instant reaction to the 45-21 win over the Dolphins. And it was, I guess, a good game on the Bengals side. It was pretty close throughout the first half, and then the third quarter happened. Yeah, no, I think at one point there was 35 unanswered points. I think basically the Bengals scored 35 points once the Dolphins took the lead. And at that time, it felt like, the Bengals would score, and then the Dolphins would score. The Bengals would get a stop, and then the Dolphins would get a stop. And it kind of felt like it was going back and forth. And I don't know, it felt like it was going to be another one of those ugly games where they were going to find a way to lose at the end. They were giving up a lot of passes to the tight ends early, and they gave up that big 48 run by your guy, Achan.
Yeah, well, I think I like all the running backs on the Dolphins team. I think like when we're doing our draft stuff, like all the guys that they have, we liked.
Yeah, I mean, they started Ewers, which I thought was interesting, and the way the game started, it felt like they were when they were running, they were getting big chunks. They got that 48-yard touchdown run. I was like, well, okay, this is like the perfect game to have if you're going to start a rookie quarterback, especially late in the season, is if you don't have to really rely on him passing that much. And then, when they went into the halftime, it's like, I don't know what it is, but Zach Taylor always talks about turnovers. And I felt like when he talks about it, it's like the Bengals that end up turnovering the ball. But then the third quarter, the defense, I think technically they had 4 turnovers. They had 2 interceptions, a forced fumble, and then a turnover on downs. And it just pretty much broke the game wide open. And there was definitely a point at the game where I was thinking, well, when are they going to rest Burrow? Which they did. It seemed like the starting of the fourth quarter. They went ahead and brought out Flacco. And then from that point on, it just didn't even seem like – I think they had a lot of second stringers in. Even on defense, I thought they brought some of the second string players in. But, I don't know. I'm wondering if they're going to fire their head coach after this game. The Dolphins, it seems like this would be one of those games where they might send a message.
Potentially. I mean, I don't know. You wonder if they're tanking. It's hard to figure out. I mean, I guess one school of thought is, well, you want to see what you have in Quinn Ewers, because I guess they were talking about during the broadcast that Zach Wilson was complaining that he wasn't the starter. But I mean, it makes sense. But I mean, I guess what they're signaling that they're going to do something about Tua and get rid of him. So it makes sense to get rid of the coach at that point if you're going to rebuild, right?
I don't know if you get rid of Tua right away. I feel like if you're going to get a higher pick, it might be worth getting another quarterback, even if he's going to sit 1 year. Because I thought I saw that if they do let him go, then they lose like 20 million in dead money or something like that. And that's just for next year. That's not accounting for the following years. Or maybe it is just 20 million. I don't know if that's too steep of a hit to, let your quarterback go early, even if it, gets you more towards the future. So I think they might just give him 1 more year. But I think it just determines how early they draft a quarterback. But I don't know what this year looks like in terms of quarterbacks coming out of the draft. I know there's several quarterbacks that probably can get drafted high. I feel like that dude.
I mean, it doesn't matter what the quarterback class is like. There's always going to be people or guys drafted super high.
But then I feel like you got the teams like the Jets and the Saints who are going to have higher picks. So, like, your quarterback may not be there unless they decide to trade up. I don't know if Tua is tradable to recoup some of those picks. I think most teams.
I'm sure he's tradable, but I doubt that he's going to get a lot in return.
Yeah, maybe like a 3rd and a 5th round, something like that.
Something like that. Yeah, it's not going to be like someone's not going to give you a 1st rounder for him.
Yeah, but then he's in a situation where I feel like most teams would rather just wait it out. Because, like, you let him get cut. I mean, you're still going to take his contract. I don't know. I don't know if he clears waivers, so it'll be an interesting situation nonetheless. But I don't know. I obviously it feels good when the Bengals win, but then I feel like this is another one of those games where it keeps Zach a little bit longer. I mean, the offense seemed like they were struggling early on. I mean, they scored, but then they had some moments where I can't remember if they went 3 and out, but they definitely had to punt a couple of times in the first half.
Hey, no touchbacks, right?
Yeah, no, that's
like the perfect game today. No touchbacks, no turnovers.
No, Rico looked good on the punting. He had several where it was like within at least the 10. I know one was like on the 3-yard line. I think he had another one. He might have
Stewart had a tackle for loss, right?
Oh yeah, I saw that. Sample had like a 39-yard reception, which was kind of crazy.
I mean, it's a pretty good day for the Bengals.
He had a really good catch on the sidelines.
He looked amazing today.
Yeah, no, I'm real happy that they gave him some rest, and I heard on the during the broadcast that they even sent him to Pittsburgh to speak with the was it a neurologist or really called? It's study brains.
That's what's called, I think.
Okay,
I don't know if the guy's a neurologist, but I think that's what it's called.
Well, according to the claim, he was one of the top in his field, and they sent him out there to give him reassurance that, you know, if he wanted to come back out this week, that he should be good to go. And
looks
he
like
looked
he's
pretty good.
Helmets too.
Good. And then I noticed when he was going towards the ground, he wasn't just like, you know, falling straight back.
Yeah, I mean,
he was
like
turning a little bit.
This is weird to be thinking about, but this is what I was thinking about during the game. Like, talking about the neck thing, right? Like, I think like fighters, like wrestlers, boxers, and whatever, like they really have like big necks, right? Like, I think that's what protects you against a concussion. I was just wondering, like, how much they train their necks as football players. And then like they showed like the all the guys that are out for the Dolphins, and they showed Tyreek Hill. That guy's neck is massive. Like, you know, I mean, not to be goofy about it, but I think it'd be a good idea to do neck exercises.
Yeah, I think NFL players do, but I don't think it's to the extent of like a boxer or maybe like a mixed martial arts.
I mean, that's something I would look into. If I were a guy in the NFL and I was having like, you know, issues like T. Higgins, I would look into like training with like some MMA guys or some boxers on like neck stuff.
That's why the linebackers, they wear those. It's kind of like a neck piece thing where it's supposed to help protect the neck for those.
Yeah, but like if you see like linebackers like walking around, they have massive necks. Yeah,
most of them do. Yeah,
you know, I mean, he might just talk to Tyreek Hill. I mean, Tyreek Hill looks like he. I mean, that guy looks. I mean, he's from the shoulders up. He looks like a linebacker.
Yeah, no, he does. I think most of his injuries have been like lower leg injuries.
I mean, I think that kind of stuff is just bad luck. If you're someone who has the ball and, you know, people trying to tackle you, it's just you get unlucky and somebody takes out your legs.
Yeah, and it happens more often now in the NFL because they are trying to protect players' heads, so they typically go lower now just to protect themselves from getting a penalty or possibly a fine. And I think that's getting more of those. I'd say like extreme like injuries, because there's been like some crazy ones where, you know, they're getting tackled at the knee and their foot gets caught or whatever happens and looks kind of rough. But yeah, I mean, Chase Brown had a pretty good game. I think he scored 3 touchdowns in the third quarter. I think they said like he was the only player this year so far to score 3 touchdowns in a quarter. So that was nice to see. No, I mean, once pretty much the second half started, I mean, the offense looked really good for that quarter. I mean, they were capitalizing on every single turnover. It just didn't look like they could have been stopped. You know, there was several big plays when Burrow scrambled a little bit. So yeah, I know it was nice to see the offense look good. The defense kind of recovered from their mishaps in the first half and caused all those turnovers in the third quarter. So, I mean, it looked good. It feels like a lot of the younger players are starting to show up too. Because Battle, he caused that fumble, and all in on the interception that Carter got. It was Newton that knocked the ball free, so that was a pretty good pass deflection. And then Jalen Carter, he got that interception, was pretty good. So I mean,
Carter or Jalen Davis?
Huh?
What's his name? I thought his name's Carter. I thought his name was Davis.
Yeah, Jalen Davis. Sorry, it's Barrett Carter and Jalen Davis.
TJ, who's your mama?
Yeah, I mean Barrett Carter, he got the interception off the deflection from Newton, and then Jalen Davis got the last interception on the sideline, which looked pretty good.
Confirmed. I just looked it up.
Yeah, no, it's Jalen Davis. It's because he's an interesting situation because I think he came in undrafted, and he's been kind of like a fringe player for the last couple of years. Now I think he's to the point where kind of just want to keep him on the roster. I don't know if you would consider him a starter, but he's definitely great depth.
Yeah, I like the way he's played. He seems like a good energy guy too. Like I think he brings a good attitude with him.
Yeah, and even kind of early on, I know it was a little bit closer and a little bit more back and forth, but I felt like if things kept on going the way it was going, eventually Ewers was going to throw a pick because he threw a couple of passes where I felt like it should have been picked off. He threw one where he was kind of getting tackled at the same time. He threw it up, but then the tight end still got it. But
yeah, it looked like the Dolphins were running like a weird but simplified game plan, and I think like the Bengals figured it out at halftime.
Yeah,
it seemed like like they were playing it maybe more straight up, and then they realized that he was just going to throw things underneath. So like they kind of, drop back and then were aggressive towards the ball, I think.
Yeah, I don't think they got any sacks, but it definitely felt like the pressure was there. It was definitely affecting some of the passes. Because I think he had another pass in the fourth quarter that should have been picked off. But I think at that point, when they were up I think it was like 45-21, I think both sides were just playing the game. Or playing to get the game over with, essentially. So it really didn't matter what happened at that point.
Yeah, it was just an interesting game from because I remember when we first started like podcasting, like Quinn Ewers was in college, right? And it was just like a big deal that he got that first NIL deal. He got like the big $1 million deal for the kombucha, I think. And it's interesting to see like how his college career played out, and like now he's in the NFL playing against the Bengals. And then I remember how at one point we were like the Burrow year, right? We wanted to tank for Tua, and then Burrow kind of took over. So it's kind of interesting to see how like all those moments kind of intersect at this game, right? You have Tua, who looks like his career's hit a major bump in the road, and you see Quinn Ewers, and you're like, watching the game, is he a guy that looks like he's an NFL guy or not? Just interesting from that perspective.
Yeah, I don't know. It's I think in the position that they are in, the Dolphins, I don't know. I don't think he's going to show enough for them making him like, okay, he's going to be the future. Because I feel like, well, I don't know. I guess it's hard to say too because they don't have all of their top offensive pieces. I think really they're missing Tyreek Hill, so it's hard to say what the offense could look like. Because really, if you can get a guy that just knows where the ball needs to be, that's like half the problem. Because their offense is built very similar to the Bengals, where it's very electrifying. They can score kind of at will when they're hitting all strides. So it's just a matter of getting a person that can just get the ball where it needs to be, and then your players are going to kind of take over. Because I think that was the biggest thing with Tua, was that I don't think he was ever known for his arm strength. And then I think, didn't he have a pretty significant injury, like a hip injury?
He's had a lot of injuries.
I felt like he got hurt his senior year, or like the year he got drafted. Could be wrong, or maybe it was the year before that. But I mean, he still ended up getting drafted. I think top 10. I think it was like 6.
No, I mean, like the thing with Tua recently, it was just a lot of concussions, I thought.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, especially 2 or 3 years ago when they played the Bengals, because I think the Bengals kind of started that. Or no, he had the concussion before they played the Bengals, and then he literally got knocked out when he played against the Bengals, and seemed like he was having issues from then on. But this year specifically, I don't think he's had concussions. I just think his performance has been down.
Yeah.
But I mean, is that more on Tua or is it more on Mike Daniels? Because maybe the NFL's figured his offensive scheme out. Because it's pretty much all the same players. I feel like they've had.
Well, I mean,
2
except
years.
Tyreek Hill's gone, so you miss like the number one receiver. I think that's a big deal. I don't know. I've always liked his offense. I think it's interesting how like everything's side to side. It really spreads you out. A lot of misdirection, but I mean they got a lot of speed on their team. So I don't know. It's like one of those things where has the NFL caught up to it, or is it just something that can't work?
Well, I mean, minus a few plays in the first half, I mean, the Bengals defense looked pretty good against their offense. And I guess that's a great sign for the Bengals defense. It seems like they've finally turned the corner, and they do seem to be getting better as the season goes on. But yeah, I'm wondering, like, how much can you credit to the Bengals defense versus like how functional or dysfunctional the Dolphins offense is right now? Like,
well, I mean,
because I mean they were playing with
the
the
Bengals defense is playing better. I don't think they're good, but I think they were terrible, right? I mean, like the games that they lost to the Jets and they lost to the Bears, right? And they looked absolutely dreadful in those games.
To be fair, I think the Bears are a quality team.
Yeah, but
say much about the Jets though. The Jets,
but I mean, the defense looked bad. I mean, like absolutely terrible in those games, right? And like now they're, showed some competence. Did some things. I mean, definitely like the turnovers helped. So, I mean, turnovers they say is kind of a random thing, so sometimes it's lucky that you get turnovers.
I don't know. I feel like for this game, I feel like they forced the turnovers, like because they caused that fumble, and then there was that pass deflection, and then the intercept, the last one. That was just a great play by Davis. Like that ball probably should have just been thrown out of bounds. Like he just kind of threw up a prayer. Like the dude was.
Yeah, I mean, he threw it it wasn't a good throw. I mean, he threw it too far inside. I don't know if he was open at all, but I mean,
no, Davis was all over Waddle. Like,
yeah, but
he looked pretty good. I was like,
you have to put it between the receiver and the sideline, right? You can't have it land inside of the corner, right? That's never a good thing, right?
Yeah, but even if it was worst case scenario, if you throw it more out of bounds, it's either your receiver catches it or it's just out of bounds. But
yeah,
I mean, in reality, like you shouldn't throw it to where it's catchable at all, just because how covered the receiver was. Like I was pretty impressed because I mean, wasn't Jalen Waddle drafted in the first round? Or
yeah, he's a first round guy.
Yeah, I mean, and he was going against Jalen Davis, which is an undrafted cornerback. So it's like he looked really good. I thought it's like,
yeah, I mean, it was a good play. It was good coverage for sure. Bad decision to throw the ball unless you're going to be able to put it where you need to. But he seemed like he was kind of he just tried to flip it out there without really getting set, throwing it.
Yeah, I think he was rolling out a little bit, and I think there was a little bit of pressure, but I mean, I think even at that point, there was I want to say it was a 17-point lead. It was pretty, but even like because it was in the third quarter, pretty sure the Bengals scored a touchdown in every single turnover that they had. So like the Bengals really capitalized on their mistakes. So great game by Joe Burrow. I think he had 4 touchdowns, over 300 passing yards. Really, I mean, I feel like the running game was pretty effective. They really didn't have to run throughout most of the game because, especially in the third quarter, because where most of those turnovers were, they were already on the right side of the field, so they didn't have to go that far to score. But they had a lot of good conversions running the ball, so they were very effective. And then it felt like at some point, especially late in the third, when they started to run more often, they were starting to get bigger chunks because what Chase Brown had that, I think it was a 12-yard touchdown run, and he was like barely touched, or maybe not even touched at all until he got past the goal line, which it's pretty good for a 12-yard run. I mean, you expect him to get touched a little bit, but you could just tell that the defense was losing some gas, especially with how effective that the Bengals were playing. Because even I think the Dolphins had 2 sacks. I think both of them came in the first half, but they had fairly consistent pressure. But some of the bigger plays that the Bengals had were with Joe Burrow stepping up in the pocket or rolling out a little bit. He had a nice little play with Jamar Chase where he rolled out to the left and threw it on the run, and then Jamar Chase got a first down. Actually, I think there was another one where he got like 30 yards or something like that. But yeah, no, Chase was like, when he was catching it, he was making big plays because like it was here and there. And then by the end of the game, I think he had 7 receptions over 100 yards, and it didn't even feel like it. Like, I was kind of surprised how many yards he had.
Yeah, I like the how they were putting him in motion, having Joe roll out and throw it to him on crossing routes, that sort of stuff. I mean, I really like. I think the underrated thing that they did was some of the throws to Sample. Like, I guess they only threw it to him twice, but like, I liked them both. It was interesting, right? Like the one was a huge play, but like the 4-yard one I liked because if he's in, he's usually blocking, right? And he blocked and then he released 4 yards, right? It's just, kind of like a substitute for a running play. I just liked it overall, right?
You're talking about the one where he got like 29 yards?
Well, both of them, yeah, they were both dump offs to him where he started off blocking. And then the one was Joe kind of bought a lot of time and then last second flipped it to him. It was a huge play. But then they had another play where there was a little bit of pressure and Joe flipped it to him right away and it was like 4 yards.
Yeah.
But like both of those I liked because a lot of times when Sample's in, it's like, the defense doesn't really watch them. So it's like you're getting free yards, right? So like don't take the sack, don't take the hit, just dump it off the Sample and try to stay ahead of the downs.
Yeah, and then just thinking about the other sack, I feel like it's probably the first one, but I felt like it was another one of those sacks where I think Fairchild missed his assignment because it feels like they're still having a little trouble picking up like whenever they do stunts or whatever, and the defense loops around or whatever, defensive lineman. But outside of that, I felt like the protection was pretty good, and towards the really towards the end of the third quarter, I felt like the running game looked really, really sharp. And then once the fourth quarter got there, they pretty much put all their Joe Flacco came in, and I think they took out all the skilled player starters because I felt like most of the offensive line was in starting wise. But you could just tell they were letting the foot off the gas a little bit. I think they pretty much ran the whole time Flacco was in. Maybe there was one pass.
Yeah, he's 1 of 1 for 4 yards.
Okay,
I didn't watch that part. I took the dog for a walk at that point.
It was a weird game. It was like, felt like, man, first half is going to be another one of those games where
two dog walk games in a row, but for different reasons.
yeah. So no, it just that third quarter really blew it open, and at one point I was thinking like they should definitely take out Joe Burrow. So I was glad that he got his rest in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, I felt like that about Burrow and Chase Brown. I thought, you know what? I think he's had himself a game. Why don't you get some carries for Brooks and P. Ryan?
Yeah, that was another thing I noticed was that whoever the graphics team was, they were having a tough time because there were several times where they were either talking about Chase Brown and they brought up Jamar Chase graphic, or they were talking about Jamar Chase and they brought up a Chase Brown graphic. I'm like, oh gosh. I could see someone like typing in Chase, and first thing that pulled up, they just clicked on it. However that works on NFL Productions, but I'm sure there was some type of like key up thing where you have to type in a name, and all they saw was Chase, and they just clicked on it. Because there was definitely a few times where they were talking about Jamar Chase, and a Chase Brown graphic came up. I'm like, wait, what? And vice versa. So it's like, okay, well, there you go. Maybe they're all ready for the offseason too.
They're ready. I was looking through the tackles. I was seeing if who's the other starter? Like, I know we got
Mr. Samir.
Starter on what
well,
position?
there's Jordan Battle, and then who's our other starting
Not
safety?
gonna work here,
Stone.
Stone, yeah. Like, no tackles for Geno Stone.
I hit a big missed tackle, I think, on that touchdown
That
run.
touchdown, yeah.
But I mean, I get it. I mean, if it was like a second string running back that wasn't that fast, then maybe. But I mean, yeah, I kind of, if 1-on-1 against Achane going full speed, I think it would be hard for most safeties.
Yeah. Well, I was just looking because Tyson Anderson had 3 tackles. Dejon Anthony, isn't he also a safety?
Yeah, but
Had 2 tackles.
I think they play on special teams too, so
Oh, okay.
I count for that. But I know, not Dejon Anthony, but I think Tyson Anderson. I saw him get a few tackles late in the game because I think they scored, like, they had a 97-yard touchdown drive.
Yeah. Did you notice how they were playing a little bit of 3-4 at the beginning of the game?
Yeah, it felt like I think there were several points where they actually just had 5 defensive linemen. I think even on that touchdown run, one of the touchdown runs, I think it was a wide receiver reverse. It had 5 defensive linemen in, but I think they just got out schemed. I think they just saw that the Bengals were really committing a lot of linemen up front, just took it to their advantage. Because it seems like they still have trouble with certain assignments when it comes to those type of plays, whether it's like some type of reverse or if a running back is like coming out of the backfield late, sometimes they're not covered.
Yeah.
Throughout the year. But I mean, outside of that, I mean, the defense had a pretty solid game. I mean, it was kind of shaky at first, but
yeah, I mean, I would say for the Bengals, this was a great defensive game for relative to our expectations and what they've shown recently. I think they played great today.
Yeah, and it's just like, depending on what direction they go in the offseason, it feels like with some of the success that they're having now, because I feel like some of the younger players are really starting to perform. I don't know if they bring back Osai. I don't know if that's the answer, but it's
he didn't even play today, did he?
I think he was hurt. It seemed like he was out. I didn't see him at all.
Yeah.
I mean, I can kind of see them bringing back Osai.
Yeah, and Miles Murphy played really good today.
He's been playing like he had. I think the last couple of weeks he's played pretty good. It's kind of we're like, oh, okay, makes sense why he was a first round pick. It's almost to the point where it's like you kind of have to start him. Like, he's making such a good impact, whether it's a passing or run play. Because he had a play where I think they tried to do like a screen, and he saw it early. It was like a wide receiver screen, so he was like covering the tackle, and then as soon as he saw it was a screen, he ran down the line of scrimmage and like got the receiver down. And I thought that was pretty impressive because it's like he had to cover for like 20 yards just to get that tackle, but basically solidified the tackle. It's like, yeah, I kind of want Miles Murphy trying to make the tackle versus like some of her safeties. Although I feel like Battle, he's kind of hit or miss. It seems like he either makes a really big play or gives up a really big play. But yeah, no, I think going into next year, because I don't think Stone is under contract next year, is he? I think he only had a 2-year deal. So I don't know. Is this the year that they bring back Jesse Bates? It feels like this might be the offseason.
I don't think you do that. No.
Why not?
Because that's just not how NFL careers work.
I think it can. Well, I mean, if anything, he might go to the Colts over the Bengals because of Lou, but
Yeah.
I don't know. You never know. It could happen. I feel like there could be something there. I
Yeah,
don't know
I
if
don't
he's out of
know.
his contract yet, but I could see also where he might get cut just because I don't know. Are the Falcons doing good this year? I don't think they are. I feel like they're in another situation where they kind of have to make a lot of changes. So I don't know. I'm just saying if he's available, but I just see them trying to make an upgrade at least at one of the safety positions, one of the linebacker spots, and then I think what you do is instead of paying Trey Hendrickson elite money, you just get too many Trey Hendricksons and just have quality depth and have like 3 people that you can rely on that can get to the quarterback and rotate them in. Because I feel like that's when the Bengals really had success on defense, is when they had like a pretty good rotation at defensive end. Like none of them were like elite. Most of them were like above average, but they could all get to the quarterback. And it's just like you just wear the offensive line down after a while.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like they kind of need to go back to that direction. But hopefully Stewart continues to develop throughout the year. It looks like Murphy's really starting to hit his stride. So it's like with Trey Hendrickson money, I mean, split that up. I feel like you can get a few more defensive ends to put in there to rotate and make a difference.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like I'd spend that money on a left tackle.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I would at least draft one. But I
think you draft defensive ends and sign offensive linemen.
Yeah, I guess it really just depends on who's available.
I mean, where they're going to pick, they probably won't get Bain.
Is he a defensive end or a defensive tackle?
He's a defensive end.
Okay, because I keep hearing his name.
Yeah, but I think he's going to be like the first non-quarterback taken.
Oh, so he's like a top 3, top 5 pick?
I think so. I don't know if he's rated that high, but I think that at the end of the day, that's what's going to happen. Like he
just gets picked one pick before the Bengals, like always. It's like,
no, I don't think he's going to be like the 10th pick. I think he's good enough that he's going to be like a top 5 pick. I think it's going to be like it always is. It's going to be like quarterback, and then like edge rusher. And I think Bain's the guy. He played really well in their playoff game against Texas A&M.
Well, I mean, we're only, I guess a few months, or not even a few months. I guess we're like a month and a half away before we start looking into highlight films again.
Yeah.
See who's available. Start knocking the dust off of those draft simulators.
Yeah.
All right. Well, nice victory. Feels good when the Bengals win.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of crazy score when you're looking back at it, 45-21. Like everything came in.
It's random, man.
Yeah. It really felt like it was going to be an ugly game for 4 quarters, but then, yeah, the Bengals,
I mean, this is basically just the reverse of the Minnesota game at the beginning of the season.
Yeah. I don't know. When they played the Ravens the first time, I think they caused 5 fumbles.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty sure. Yeah, it was the Ravens game because I think Lamar fumbled twice. I feel like every other person on the Ravens fumbled because Lamar fumbled twice. The receiver fumbled. The tight end fumbled on the goal line. That was a pretty crazy game. But yeah, this was definitely the reverse of the Minnesota game. That Minnesota game was so weird because some of those turnovers they got, actually 2 of them they scored on them. I think one was a pick 6, one was that fumble recovery for a touchdown. And then I think there was another pick where they ran it back like 30 yards. So it was just like every time they had a turnover, it was worsened because they either scored or got a lot of return yards off of it. Whereas it's not one of those turnovers where they catch it and they're just down. And it kind of feels like a punt. But yeah, I don't know. I guess they have the Cardinals and then the Browns. I'm not sure. I mean, obviously they're going to want to win, but in terms of draft position, I guess it's going to get pretty interesting. Top 10, because I feel like think there's a lot of teams with 3, 4, 5 wins. So I feel like the top 10 is going to get kind of interesting. I guess really the top 13.
Yeah, I feel like they're going to be around 13.
Yeah, it feels like, especially if they win out, I think they'll be closer to 13, 14.
Mm-hmm.
But, if they lose out, then they're probably a top 10 pick, I would think. Because the Dolphins, I think they have 6 wins. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, but I think the Dolphins are going to lose the rest of their games. I think that's their plan.
yeah, I think at this point they kind of want to. So that's part of the reason why you sit Tua and put in a rookie quarterback very late in the year. It's like,
I think so.
it's basically what Zach Taylor did with Dalton. I mean, it was a little bit earlier in the year, but I think at that point he knew he wanted to go a different direction. So trying to protect his pick or increase in odds for a better pick.
Yeah.
But great victory. I guess they play the Cardinals next, I think. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Because the Browns is the last week. So I think it's away. Or no?
Next 2 games are at home.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I feel like the Bengals should be favorites the last couple of games, but we'll see.
Yeah, I think so.
All righty. Is there anything else you want to add?
No, I'm all set.
All right. Peace.